Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody, and I'm here with the 6th layout with my April Studio Calico kits. This is a Project Life spread, and I actually have a lot of photos on this spread. Typically, I don't fill up every single slot with photos, but I'm doing that this month with the exception of one 3x4 slot. And actually, even one of the 4x6 slots has 2 photos, which has 2 photos at the moment, but I will end up eliminating one of those photos. This is, let's see, when is this? This is the November 2014 section of my 2014 album. And I just realized that actually one of the slots is not a photo, it's the title card. So I do have 2 slots that are not going to be filled with photos, but one is going to be my title card. I'm just going through the different cards in the kit, and as I'll mention in my kit review video, I struggled with this kit a little bit because I started to feel like I didn't have enough embellishments or cards that matched each other in order to create a full layout. So this is where I'm kind of nearing the end of the usability of this kit, but I do have a couple more things that I'll do with the kit before I'm completely done. But you'll see part of the struggle is in this layout, and you'll see that kind of come together as we go through here. I was really liking this title card. It's got an orange pattern with kind of a tone-on-tone orange stripe, a take on a stripe, I suppose you should say, or you could say. And then the other papers that I'm using for the kit are just the white cardstock. I decided to go ahead and use the cardstock that was in the kit. I do have scrap white cardstock that I use a lot of times in my Project Life pages to create the backgrounds for my 4x6 slots. But since I had the white cardstock in the kit, I decided to go ahead and use it because I didn't want to pull in the same thing from my stash and not really show you how I'm using the kit. And I will pretty much end up using that entire sheet of white cardstock before I'm done with the kit, so it's not that like it was a wasted sheet of paper. I use it. On this particular day, I had noticed in watching other people do Project Life that there were a lot of people that were documenting the weather. And I found that really interesting. And so I decided to start documenting the weather on different days, especially abnormally warm days or abnormally cold days. And this happened to be one of those abnormally cold days. It doesn't really get extremely cold here in North Carolina, in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where we are, until really probably January. We've had days where we have warm Christmas days, or I guess you could say years we've had warm Christmas days, but it happened to be that we got some really cold days the beginning or in November this year, which was really kind of early for us. And so I'm just documenting that. It was 34 degrees on this particular day, and when you're used to it being in the 70s, that is like bitterly cold. So I wanted to document that because that was kind of a change for us. It'll obviously get much colder in the dead of winter, but for it to be kind of our first really cold day, it was really cold. I know a lot of you Canadians or other people are laughing at me because it's really not that cold, but for us it was. I'm pulling in some different greens because I was planning on using that Tell Your Story piece that I had cut out there, which does not end up making it on this layout, but it was kind of my deciding factor as far as what colors I was going to include. I am pulling out these memento letters. I purchased these at Tuesday morning, probably about a year ago. So I decided to go ahead and use those. Now they don't stick very well, so I'm going to have to reinforce that with some Tombow Mono Multi Glue. That strip that is right under the numbers 2014 is just a border strip that came, or a manufacturer strip that came off of one of the pattern papers. I love this particular paper with the labels, and I'm trying to like salvage most of the paper. As you can see, I decided to go ahead and cut off a third of it and use it for labels. By the time I'm done with this entire kit, I decided to pretty much cut up the whole paper because I love labels. I love the other side of it, but I love labels, and I feel like I'll get more use out of labels when I probably have about 2,300 sheets of paper in my stash. So, and don't laugh at me because I love every single sheet of paper that I have, and I will use it. I will never throw away my paper. It's not going to happen. I'm going to use it. Even if I have a billion pieces left when I die, I will use it till the day I die. That is a really strange tangent, but I always laugh when people say they're destashing and getting rid of paper. I can't do it. I just can't. I'll take everybody's unwanted paper. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. But I can't get rid of paper. I love the pretty papers. I just cannot get rid of them. I don't care how old a piece of paper is. I'm going to keep it till I use it. That's the way it's going to be. But anyways, back to the layout. I am trying to use the different pieces in the kit. There were a lot of things that coordinated with the greens and the orange themes, which I really find funny to be a spring color scheme because it just screams fall to me. I think it's the orange that makes me think of fall, but it just screams fall to me. When I think of spring and April, I think more of like the reds and the pinks and the pastel colors. I don't really think orange, especially not the burnt orange and the greens and the yellows. That just for some reason really screams fall to me. Now I know in different parts of the world it's a different season right now, so this may be perfect for you, but it just doesn't scream spring to me. And so I went ahead and just pulled out some November photos to scrapbook with, especially since these were kind of the colors that were left in the kit for the embellishments that I had. I'm just using this green border strip, which is another part of the one that I use on the title card, to put a little bit of journaling on. And this is just going on this bottom photo. And if you can't tell what's in this photo, this is a picture of Ernest and Kaylin sitting next to each other on the couch with their feet up on the ottoman. They both have headphones on. They both have their little feet stuck out. And they're just chilling on the couch watching TV. Now, it's funny that they both have headphones on because they're watching TV, and I don't think their headphones had anything to do with what was on TV, but they're probably listening to music and watching TV because that's kind of what they did. They just kind of hung out a lot, doing different things. And Ernest likes to listen to music, so it's only natural that Kaylin would want to listen to music as well. So this is the only card that I'm going to use this other side of this beautiful paper on, and it's going to be up under this top right photo. And I decided to go ahead and split apart and use it as a single photo instead of this double photo because I couldn't make it work. I felt like it looked too weird right next to each other, and so I thought about putting a label on each of the photos, but again, it just didn't look right with the rest of the page, so I decided to go ahead and cut them apart, just use this one photo of Ernest and I together, and then use this beautiful striped pattern paper as the background, and it brings in some more of that, those yellows and oranges. It doesn't have the green, but it does have the yellows and the oranges, and it's all kind of the same color scheme. I'm using a couple of the different labels as well, and this is where at the very bottom, on the bottom left, where I have this picture of this rose. I love this picture, by the way. I like photography, but I'm not real good at it, but I really love this picture. This was just me playing with the different settings on my camera one day and having this beautiful rose picture, this beautiful picture of this rose with a lot of white space on the other side. I really like the way that that looks, and so I had to get it in my scrapbook, especially since I don't like a lot of the photos that I take, so it was kind of a big deal to have a really pretty photo. And I just wanted to include that. And this is also a rose that Ernest and Kaylin had given me one day. So not only am I scrapbooking the beautiful photography, but it's also kind of scrapbooking just them getting me a rose. They're so sweet. It was funny. One of my friends, I was at a dinner party on Sunday, And it was kind of funny because two of the wives were talking about how they get love letters all the time, and I was like, I don't get any love letters. And so Ernest looked at me and he was like, hey, I get you roses. Because he does. He gets me random roses, um, different times for no reason. And I think it's so sweet to just get a single random rose that may be sitting on my car and on the seat in my car when I get in my car after work, or and it's not dead. It's not like he left it in there all day. It'll be like where he dropped it off right before he knew I was getting off, or he'll come drop one off to me at work, and I may find it on my desk, or if I'm at my desk, he'll give it to me or something like that. So I think that's really sweet, and so it's just kind of funny because I was like, hey, I never get love letters. But anyways, sidetracked. I only have a few of these chipboard pieces left, and they're going to get used up on this layout. And so I love it when I use up full packs of embellishments. That's kind of the point of a kit to me. If I get a kit, I want to pretty much use up as much as I possibly can, and that's kind of how this ended up being. Also got a cork piece here, and you just have to be careful taking these off of the backing sheet. They're extremely adhesive, which is really good because you don't have to add any extra adhesive, but it makes it a little bit difficult to get off the backing sheet. So if you get these cork pieces, please be careful taking them off, because I ripped that one just a little bit in the corner. No big deal. You can't even notice it, but it took off the corner of part of that banner. And I just trimmed it off with my scissors to kind of make it even. You cannot tell, but I just kind of used my scissors to doctor it up a little bit. Sorry, you're probably hearing everybody in my household has allergy issues at the moment, so there's a lot of sniffling going on at the moment. Um, it's spring is so wonderful, but we we end up with a lot of sniffles around my house, a lot of coughing, a lot of sneezing, a lot of sniffles, and clearing throats. So we are fine. We sound a little rough and ragged, but we're actually fine. um, all right, just going through the different embellishments here. Whenever I work with a kit, I like to keep it all out on the desk so I can find everything pretty much at the ready. I don't have to kind of rustle around through different embellishments or different folders or anything like that. Everything is just right there ready for me to use. I think that's the easiest way to work with a kit. It makes it real smooth. You don't have to go through your stash. Now, I do have my stash on shelves around me at my room, so if I need to pull something out, I do not hesitate. I will add to it. But the point of me getting a kit is having it be all inclusive. So if I get a kit, in order for me to like it, I have to pretty much be able to use it to complete multiple layouts. And sometimes kits don't work out that way. And that's when you have to determine whether that kit is your style, if that's going to be something that's reoccurring in the kit where you have to constantly add to it to be able to make the kit work, or if that just happened to be that 1 month wasn't exactly your style. Now, that can be a difficult decision to make, but for me, it kind of taints my view of a kit club if the first kit I purchase is not my favorite, or it just doesn't work with my style. So for me, if I have a bad experience, not necessarily bad, but if I don't have the best experience with the first time I purchase a kit, I'm probably not going to purchase them again. Um, I mean, maybe that's a little harsh, but if it's not if it's not something I felt I got my money's worth out of, why would I continue to purchase it? Um, and if I did continue to purchase it, I would definitely make sure by looking in different kit reveals and the sneak peeks and all that, I would definitely look at them and make sure that it is going to be my style for the next couple ones or something like that. I'm not for wasting money. I think it takes us, I mean, we work hard for our money. Everybody that works hard for their money, and so I feel like if I'm going to spend money on something, I want it to be worth it. And so with that being said, I will mention that if you are looking at the Studio Calico kit, definitely subscribe to their mailing or their email list, because they have recently been offering a lot of different specials, a lot of different sales, a lot of different coupon codes. They had where you could purchase a kit for $5. They also had $5 mystery bags, or mystery kits where you could pay $5 and get an older kit that may have been used last year. I purchased a couple of those myself. I don't mind spending $5 on a kit. I think it was $5 and that included shipping. So really, they're pretty much giving those kits away. I think I bought 3 kits with the mystery kits. I bought 2 of the Project Life kits and 1 of the card kits. And the card kits were like where you could make cards. I'm probably not going to make cards with it, but it was still $5 for a group of embellishments. I mean, that's still a great deal. But anyway, so if you are possibly looking at the Studio Calico kit, definitely join their email list because you may have some good deals on there. All right, this is where I decided that I don't like that black and white photo. Card. I felt like it just didn't blend well with the rest of the kit, so I decided to, or with the rest of the page, so I decided to go ahead and use this green journaling card and then add a little strip of that title card to bring in some of that orange to this particular card. So my colors in this layout are orange, green, and pink. Oddly enough, I didn't think pink was going to be mixed with orange and green, but since I used that striped paper on the top right, pink was only a natural color to add, especially since I have that rose in the bottom left. It was an easy way to add a little bit of pink without making it look awkward. Now, the pink and the orange are very different tones, and that's important. Otherwise, it would just look like you have different tones of orange or different tones of pink. I wanted it to be drastic enough that you could tell that it was a different color. Just using a couple different stamps that came in the kit to just add a little bit of stamping around the page. But we're pretty much finished up here. I'm going to add a tiny bit of journaling, and it's just going to say all day, every day. Hanging out and enjoying every moment together. We spend a lot of time, just us as our little 3-family unit or 3-person family unit, and walking up to the stores up the street and just sitting around our house and enjoying, I don't know, watching TV or just taking photos of each other. That's kind of our all day, every day kind of thing. And that's how we enjoy our days as our family. So that's what I document a lot of the times, are those type of days, because that's who we are. That's the things that we're going to remember. But this finishes up this layout, just adding a few final touches, and then I will be done. Please stay tuned at the end for some still shots, and also check out my blog if you'd like to see my spreadsheet for my kit reviews, but also see more still shots. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you on another day. Bye.